Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, December the 14th, and this is the SPY Outlook. We are looking at the 4-hour chart. Notice not yesterday, but day before yesterday, we did have a test of this level right here, was this wick. Today, I have drawn in the monthly VWAP. Now, the monthly VWAP is not like a standard moving average that if there is significant slope in general with a moving average, if there is significant slope, if you are above it, you generally should be long, and if you are below it, you generally should be short. Now, the VWAP tells us a little bit more about the psychology of an event. If people get excited here and begin to buy, and all of a sudden it drops off, that disbelief event sometimes keeps them holding well past their initial stops. But I know none of you do that. Of course not. But this happens to the trader. And so that sense of disbelief keeps them hanging on. If you are below the VWAP and you are long above the VWAP, just like with a moving average, you're underwater. And if it drifts much further than you anticipate, the second it gets above the VWAP again, in general, most of the volume at this space is in the green. And the second you're going to try and get yourself either to flat, to slightly green, or to some measure that gives you less of a hit as you drift lower and lower, you're going to get out. And this candlestick here pushes us up, and we can obviously see everybody says, oh my goodness, I've got to get out. I'm sitting on the wrong side of the trade. And this whole section here does that. All right, so when we come into the VWAP, it's very, very important in general. Now, here's what we did yesterday when we came into this is a monthly VWAP. If you want to take a look at the weekly VWAP, actually it looks quite similar. Right? It's just putting us underneath here. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a fudge event. Taking a look at the monthly VWAP, see what goes on. So we can take a look at that and see that we are coming into that event. What do we normally do? Well, we could bounce or we could fail. But we are definitely going to do something, right? We're not in a space like this that's just particularly sideways. We are going to do something. What do I think? We may chatter around for a bit, but if I take a look at what I suspect from a daily move, I think that we have a pretty good likelihood of bouncing up. Again, what do we look at? The price level break. What did we do yesterday? Fill the gap, right? That's what we do. We get into a space. If we can't hold the measure, go back to yesterday's SPY video. You're going to say, hey, you're going to see me say, hey, listen, if we break this level, we're most likely going to fill the gap. So here we are. We filled the gap. We've bounced. We closed inside the gap, right? Which is not definitive price action to the upside. If we close inside the gap today, we should test the top of the gap and then make the decision. And that's what you ought to be looking for in terms of price action. How well do I hold the 143 level, get myself to the next space? If we hold 143, we're going to stair step back up, continue to the upside. If we fail 143, we are going to go back into the bottom of the gap and very likely print lower levels. What's next for us on the horizon? Well, I had this, which we stopped shy of that, right? And then we have this, which also clearly identifies congestion. So we've got these two levels to look at and back to the 50. Listen, a lot of times what we do when we move from 32.8 38.2 to 61.8 is that we traverse part of that move. It's very, very customary for us to come into the 50 and then move back to the upside. If we have weak price action or slight momentum, we'll come in to the 38.2. The 50% rule is holding us in place for those of you who work with me on a daily basis. There's that 142 level. We see it holding there, so we know we've got the upside test here as most likely. Interestingly enough, if I take a look at the pre-market, what might have been the high test there? 142.94. So it came in pre-market, stopped just shy of that event. We'll just have to see where that goes. Pay attention. Volume will be light. Looking ahead, hard to say. So keep alert and watch the levels. That's all you can do in an uncertain market. Trade level to level. Watch them carefully. When they break accordingly, step into the trade. All right? Good luck today.